So welcome back, ladies and gents. We saw an incredible first game, but I cannot wait for the second. It will be SPALE up against Odem Mortis. Now, these two have been going back and forth for God knows how long. They're the community favorites. They're currently one of the top teams in the league so far, beating Dignitas and WoT Pro. That's Odem Mortis, bear in mind. Whereas SPALE not doing too badly themselves in 6th position, so they're certainly getting themselves into this season a little bit slower than the rest. So I think they've won one, drawn one. Only team so far to not actually lose a game, but certainly a tough foe to come up against if you're going to battle against anyone. The first position, is a little bit harder than, most people get, but still. One way to prove that they're certainly, got what it takes to really get themselves into this season now. But your thoughts towards this very briefly, because you've seen these teams time and time again. SPALE have, a bit of their own style to things, where it can catch people off, out of awares almost. Do you think we might see that today?
I think we'll undoubtedly see it, but against Odem Mortis has not gone so well past Season 1. Season 1, it kind of worked. They did a couple of 3-2s, but since then they have not been able to beat them once. So maybe their own style will come out. Will it work? We'll have to see.
Yeah, certainly a hard one to focus out and kind of figure out for us here. My predictions are all over the shop. I'd love to see SPALE doing it, but then Odem Mortis, I like seeing them in that top position because it just adds a new element to this whole season, not seeing that WoT Pro logo sitting pretty at the very top. If you go onto the WoTProLeague.com/Season 3 website, check it out. You can see the current rankings as they are and every single person going back and forth because we're still fairly early on in this season. Bear in mind, we're only up to Matchday 5. But getting that early start, behind you, getting a good, beginning, good foundations is exactly what the big teams need to start doing. So anyway, our thoughts towards this aside, let's pass you back over to the social media guru herself, who's just waiting in the wings to give you an idea of how you guys at home can get involved and get your predictions through to us. Because this game isn't going to be easy to predict at all, even though SPALE are nowhere near being that top 3, but certainly a hard one to kind of predict. So let's bring you back in over to the one, the only Melly. How are we doing?
Thank you, Pansy. We're good.
Welcome.
So, once a show, we have to do that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, perfect. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. Facebook.com/WoT Pro League. Like us, follow us on Twitter to stay updated, even during the matches. And I will put up. Well, I'm right now putting up the vote for you guys at home, where you also have the chance to hand in your predictions for the upcoming matchup. And if you guess the exact outcome of the matchup, of the score of the game, if you guess it right, you will have the chance to win some bonus codes. So I will be giving out 3, maybe more, depends on your behavior at home and your participation. So the first vote went pretty well. So let's see how you guys predict and vote for the second matchup. And of course, we will be rewarding 3 tweets of the day. So keep on tweeting. Get me your feedback, your opinions, your expectations, your whatever you like. Just tell me what's on your mind by the use of #WoT Pro League. And if you have questions to our experts.
Stop smiling when you say it. It's only getting more insulting.
Oh, no,
you're like smiling as, at Ollie's. She's like, yeah, you're an expert. Me, I just get ignored. It's not you.
That's not true.
You haven't had the huge history that, Ollie has. He has his little
We're
notepad, literally the list.
We both are working on it.
We'll try. We'll get there one day.
Exactly.
Pro World of Tanks players.
Yes.
What?
We'll see. We'll see.
You can be Team Siren.
Maybe we should put you into I don't know, WoT Pro for a day or 2. See how it goes. You can play the T1s. It's okay.
Whoa, sorry.
Not putting anything down the T1, but
every T1 little battle we've had, I won every time.
It's true. It's true.
Move aside. Let's get back over to Melly.
No, that's pretty much all. So follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, get involved. I'm waiting for your postings.
I don't want to be keeping Melly waiting. She can knock out horses. Anyway, let's have a look towards this game again. So,
throwing down her paper.
I've got to do it. I've got to do it every show. Like, I was nice last week. This week, I'm like, no, we can't be too kind to her. But anyway, we are going to be having these two going head to head. So let's have a look at the lineups now and take you through it, because there's certainly some people that I'm waiting to see appearing in one of these lineups more than the others, let's just say. But, I don't think he's in today. So that player aside, let's just say, who do we have here?
So you should recognize both these teams quite a lot. I mean, SPALE hasn't changed that much this season. We got Fantis. He's in probably playing the MX-3090. He's put a lot of responsibility onto his head because he's not playing the T1 like most new players start when they join the team. He's gone straight in there with the priority tanks. Apart from that, we've obviously got Eurofish, the team leader of SPALE, the Kempi, T1 player. We've got Muppety, very good heavy tank player. BND loves that AMX-3090, obviously. Dovahkiin, the star player, who's actually started performing again at the beginning of towards the end of season 2 and the beginning of this season, not doing so well, but now he's really starting to step up and show us what he's really capable of doing. Odem Mortis, a lot more changes. We got Devil from Peculiar Gaming, one of the teams which was playing a lot with Magus throughout 2012 in the Russian leagues and in the European Go Force. So. Apart from that, the usual faces, we got Uncro from a long-standing member. You got Yukai, we've got Threaten, Strengths, as the guy you were mentioning. He's not going to be playing quite yet, I don't think, towards the end of the season, maybe. Dr. GJ Deep, one of the new players, along with Kurtz. Apparently, Kurtz is extremely good, very good vision, knows exactly what he's doing. Always cool, calm, and collected under pressure is the kind of theme for him. So Sharthak, heavy tank player. And obviously Saurus is in there as well as the team leader. So both teams extremely good, but Odem Mortis have been showing us time and time again what they're capable of doing. Beating Team Dignitas 3-2 after going 3-1 at the beginning. So I think it's going to be a tall order for SPALE to take this one. They haven't done it so far. I mean, if you look back to DreamHack in season 1, they lost 3-1 and 3-0. Throughout season 2, also started losing. Well, they lost every game. Both these two teams didn't qualify for Gamescom though. So
bear that in mind. Exactly, it's quite an important factor. But then again, we've seen such changes from season 2. It's hard to think that was only maybe a month ago, if that. You know what I mean? There's been so much change in these lineups and so many different play adaptions and these new strategies being worked out, even new tanks, the Pershing, the 110 really kind of getting into use. There's a lot of kind of variation coming through, which I'm really enjoying I can't even speak, into season 3. Shut your face. It's hard for me, all right? Look, I just read in chat, we were having a little chat to Yukai and Dovahkiin, and they all seem pretty happy at the moment. And then Yukai let me know that he died to Roshan in a game of Dota, and I was disappointed in him. So already these guys are trying to let me know. They've been working on other games, but I do like the way they actually all stay as a team, and they play all these other games, and they're all, quite a community feeling to them. And it's an important thing to have, because even though you might, really excel at one game, it's always nice to kind of build that team play, build that kind of team feeling throughout all the other titles, and making sure you're constantly playing all these games, but making sure your main focus is certainly on one. And we've seen that Odem Mortis definitely have got the balance right. They work as a team, they play as a team, but they're like a family the way they act together. I love seeing it. It's really nice. And SPALE, they're no different. Kazna Crew, very similar to that. They are the family almost, the way you look at them. But it's an awesome thing within World of Tanks. The communities are absolutely incredible. So we are just going to be waiting for these guys to get themselves ready for this. I think the first map will be SPALE. So first map will be SPALE.
First map will be SPALE.
First map will be SPALE. See, this is why I'm not an expert.
Maybe we should ask Wargaming to rename on the map SPALE.
Yeah,
that
rather
would be a pretty
than
cool
steps.
idea. Like, get all the new maps they're releasing. They release one every single patch, and name them to the Pro League team. So we got First Pro,
cool.
we got SPALE, we got Kazna
That'd
Crew.
confuse me even
That'd
more.
Be amazing.
That'd be horrible. Don't do that to me. I struggle to say my words as it is. But we are getting ready. I think it'll be Steps, not SPALE, funny enough. As it doesn't exist as a map, it will be Steps, the first map, I think, at least. And I think overall we're all going to be saying Odem Mortis throughout this. Do you think that SPALE have a chance on this?
I think they have a chance. I think they have a chance throughout all 5 maps.
Correct.
I have to give it to SPALE. They are definitely good light tank players. So the MX-3090, T69 players, not so much, but generally this team is a lot more inexperienced than Odem Mortis. The thing is, Odem Mortis beat SPALE in season 2 when their team was kind of in a little bit of a transition period, but they still had those old members. Now they've got quite a few new players in, a lot of new blood. It might not work so well against SPALE, but I think that's quite unlikely, just because the backbone still seems to exist within that team. But they've just got like plus Odem Mortis, like plus 10 Odem Mortis, which is awesome. I think SPALE's going to struggle, but we can jump into tank picking now. They finally got that one underway, and that will be started with 2 T1s from Odem Mortis and 2 T1s from SPALE, and double AMX-1390 from Eurofish as well. So normal starts from these two. AMX-1390, T69 coming from Odem Mortis. That'll be their second pick. I'm expecting triple MX1390, double T69. Although these two teams were joking about they're using 112s, which is obviously the new I believe Chinese tank coming into this patch. So that's going to be interesting. Obviously, they can't take 7 tier 8 tanks because that wouldn't make 42. Double T69, which is the points you need for this, by the way. MX1390 and T69 from Odem Mortis is their second to last pick. So back and forth with similar tanks, mixture of the T69 and MX1390, which is just how it's going to be going down. Eurofish, though, picking the 416. We did see that previously. SPALE took the 416 in their previous engagement. I believe that was against Kaznakru. No, it wasn't against Kaznakru. It wasn't. I think it was against WoT Pro. Might have been, yeah. I think it was. Yeah, and they didn't quite manage to do that one. So 416 from Dovahkiin. He's going to be playing that one. He actually liked it, though he tested it out. Really going for that high DPM, 6.5 seconds for a reload, for 250 average damage, plenty of penetration as well, plenty of speed. Generally a very, very good tank, well-built tank from the Russians. Last pick from the side of OM will be the AMX1390. So they're going for the triple AMX1390, double T69, double T1, while SPALE going for something a little bit more unusual. The double MX1390, double T69, and that 416.
SPALE going for something unusual? No way. Who'd have thought it? They are the team that do like to switch things up on occasion, whether it be, you know, new tanks coming in, strange strategies. But they're always a team that I feel has the potential to go that step further. We haven't seen them quite doing it through Season 2. Season 3, maybe there's going to be a change, and maybe they can really start, you know, building into the lineup that I think they can actually be. And that's what my eyes are looking towards, is just, you know, in hope that they can kind of feel comfortable in this and they can actually really start stepping up. Because we've got Dovahkiin in there. You've got some really strong players who are incredible when given the chance. I just want to see if they can actually step up to that point here, because it's a new season. They haven't had a bad start. They've had an okay start. I believe they drew against WoT and they beat Evil Panda Squad. So at least, you know, it's a solid start for them. You can't be upset by it, but still, I feel as though there's a lot more to give from them, and I'm looking at this season for them to get into this. But then looking over towards the Odem Mortis side, they lost 3-1 to WoT Pro. Not bad, but they did manage to beat, you know, Dignitas, Seven Sins, and Fantasia pretty comfortably. So on paper, Odem Mortis all the way, but SPALE can upset. That's their biggest threat. They can cause these curious results and really upset the balance. So let's get you an introduction video to what will be the first map, Steps.
Steps is the other open map in the map pool, being 1000 by 1000, having no urban areas. There are 3 primary routes of attack: the trench, the rocky area to the left, and the middle road. The road offers direct routes to the enemy's base, but despite having a staggering amount of cover along the way, you are vulnerable to attack from all sides. The trench area provides for great engagements, as it's only a few hills and rocks to cover the teams. Most of the engagements occur around this rock, the winner of which gains a crucial foothold on the map. The rocky left area provides the most cover for attacking and defending teams. It's essential that you pick tanks that can traverse from one side of the map to the other rapidly. They also must be able to get to the various key locations as quickly as possible. That is the key to victory.
So welcome to the first map. As Joe said, it will be Steps. And in the south, in that golden yellow, it will be Odem Mortis facing off against the north, the blue side of SPALE. And what are we seeing early on from these two?
So unsurprisingly, SPALE starting from the north, as you said, going towards the trench side. It's what we see from the north from these two, from every team pretty much. Well, Odem Mortis, perhaps equally as unsurprisingly, going towards the Rocky Mountain area, which was pretty standard, I guess. But obviously, in the last engagement, Team WD didn't end up doing that and almost won the game for that. So, interesting start for both teams. BND and Fantis trying to get some early spots out. Obviously, not found anything for Odem Mortis. They can be pretty confident that's not where they are now, and that will give them pretty much a good idea where they are, which is over towards the left side. So they can push up, try and get some spots on, while the T69s are in the back, and the 416 probably more likely trying to take down the T1s, trying to get the initial frags out, which is really important on Steps, because they are the ones stopping the base cap if it does come down to it, and getting the spots out. You can remember how important the only near was in the final engagement with Team WD versus WoT Planet Key, which was our last engagement. Obviously, WoT came out on top of that one. So both teams quite a tentative start. SPALE a lot more condensed in many respects. I think they have a slight advantage starting from the north towards the trench, just because the speed at which you can exit exit towards the north, towards your own base, or the south towards the enemy's base. But this is not a map you can cap on, just because if you're in the cap, you're in the middle of a field, and the cover is all around for the other enemy team. First frag coming out from Yukai, taking down Muppety, so advantage to OM at the beginning. But I really gave it to OM at the beginning. I really thought they are the better team here. I really think they are the better team here. But SPALE, they're always dangerous.
Yeah, that's SPALE's biggest, ability, the fact that they can stay that dangerous, and they're always a team that can kind of twist the odds no matter what the situation. They do have the ability there to be able to do it, and I'm trying to think of how this map's going to go down and how, these guys are going to go about it, because I'm not sure how Odem Mortis want to actually get into this one. Obviously, those blind shots going out early on from, I believe it was Yukai taking down Muppety is a great way to start it. They at least know where the opposition is. As you said, this game is as much finding players as it is if you don't spot them, you can at least then work out where they aren't, so you kind of know where they will be. Unless there's going to be some crazy strategy where Odem Mortis decided to just go straight down that middle line, which is so unusual. I think we saw Denova try it once and it fell parlously. But other than that, they at least will have a good idea, a solid idea as to where the opposition will be now. But how do Odem Mortis start building this into their favor now?
Well, they've built it already. They got the foundations. They're taking out the T1, and that will give them a little bit more leeway, a little bit more maneuvering space, I guess. But we're now 3 minutes in. It's hard to think of what you can do if you're in this situation. If both teams haven't got that much information, you don't really know where the MX-3090s are, you don't really know where the T69s are. It's hard to make that decision because it can either be completely correct or just horrifically wrong. But it looks like more Odem Mortis are actually starting to formulate some sort of plan here, pushing up towards the northern base with the MX-3090s and the T69s. And obviously with the extra T69, they'll have the burst potential, which SPALE lacks a little bit with the 416. But if it does come to the long engagement, especially across the field, the 416 accuracy, along with that gun, the rate of fire in the gun, will really start to pay its dues, and it'll be very hard for Odem Mortis to come back with that, especially if the MX-3090s after engagement and the T69 don't manage to do enough damage to Odem Mortis. That will allow SPALE to come in with that 416, which will be able to consistently get the damage down for 6.5 seconds per shot, which will just wear away at the low HP, pool the MX-3090 have, which is 1,100, and that will be absolutely critical for a good engagement for SPALE. If they can do that, I think it's quite unlikely.
I'm looking at Odem Mortis. They did kind of look towards the opposition's flag for a little while. Yeah, back to away now. And there's T69's Yukai getting out of there. And there's Uncro. Devil's made his way back too. So no one really pushing forward here. As you said, no one's got that big advantage yet. Everyone's kind of exchanging and no one's really getting those early spots. I think Yukai might have noticed he had been spotted there. He's actually going to back away. I think he put out a little SOS and did back off. But maybe that one spot could cause enough of a tip of the hat.
Yeah, but look at that. SPALE deciding to take the bullet, pushing forwards. Fantis is going to be leading the charge along with Dovahkiin to his left in that 416. They're deciding to put the 416 in the front line. Uncro takes 240. First bit of damage. He actually takes another one, 216 from the side. Eurofish making those damaging rolls. But what kind of plan is putting your sniping tank forwards? Not a very good one, in my opinion. I don't think Dovahkiin can really hope to survive too long against the T69s, the MX-3090s, but regardless, he's done it anyway. He has got the back off of Eurofish. He has taken a damage. Fantis is going through the middle of the field, and Theory's there. But look at that, Fantis and SPALE starting to cap.
Yeah, indeed. They are applying that pressure extremely early, looking to make this game begin almost immediately. So 4 minutes and 20 left on the board, and they are really starting to heat up here. You can see Yukai trying to find a way back through. Ram just holding it down. Uncro now joining round, threatened to his left. They're going to have to start making a move eventually as the cap is underway. As you can see, 1 minute and 15 for this one to be turned around. You can see the other members of Odem Mortis get themselves towards the opposition's flag, so they've split off there. But with 1 minute left, they're going to have to make a move, and they don't have their entire side here, so they've got to be a little bit careful. We do see a couple of bullets being exchanged. Magus in that T1 did find Kempi, so the T1 battle truly going to Odem Mortis, but now they need to start challenging that bigger firepower. Threaten now, peering through towards Eurofish, just dancing around. Not going to let any shells fly yet. This is very, very close stuff. You can see the board is now ticking. They are starting to make their move. The fire is coming in. Yukai does go for a couple of shots here and there. He does get the connection towards Eurofish, but there's the reply shell coming in. Uncro getting a good face for the damage too. 303 HP. They need to make a move. Eurofish down to 169. Yukai pushing in, does get the damage done. It's actually Devil to claim it. Yukai now has to back away. Threaten stays in. Now Devil going around that right side does get his flank on. Thierry's found Uncro. T69 battle going in favor. Lovely shot cut out from Devil there. Taking out Dovahkiin. Yukai and Threaten need to focus down Fantas now, as Fantas is looking towards Yukai to get these damaging shells connecting. Thierry just backing away, dancing around. The clock still ticking now in favor to Odem Mortis. Great shell coming in from Fantas there, taking Yukai down and taking him out. Fantas actually trying to even this score up a fair way, as now it's the 1390s times 2 against just that, with just one T69 for SPALE, having to get themselves way back towards their own flag because that cap is underway.
Yeah, but BND is hot onto the heel of Thoris in their MX 3090, and BND joined the fight late. He was obviously the one behind trying to support Fantas into the capping.
Fantastic play, perfect position. He allowed BND to get in front of him. He will get the shell connecting, but he doesn't take him out. Devil now coming around, looking to make the damage count towards BND. There's no chance of making this cap stop with these guys hot on their heels. Good follow-up shot there. 611 left onto BND. Tracks him down for enough time. Fantas still rolling though. Tracks up and running. 3-2-1. Reply shell comes in. And now there we go. Devil goes low. One more shell between these two. And it is Devil to claim it. Fantas did take down Magus. So resetting that clock, leaving in a 3v2. But bear in mind, it's two 1390s up against that T69 and a 1390 for SPALE. And now we're going to have to see who's going to really come out in this one. Nice shell coming in. Thoris finding Thierry there. That's the T69 out of the situation. And now just Fantas stands in a 1v3. Bear in mind, Ram is a T1, but still, those two 1390s, well, at least, you know, Devil's fairly weak. Thoris is 100% HP, so he's going to be a hard task to take down. And well, Fantas has a lot of work on his hands, and I just don't see him doing this one as much as I'd love to. Thoris is now making his way in. He looks to be the first to challenge. So let's see if he can get those shells connecting. He will be flying past him now. First shell does come out from Fantas. Ram trying to get involved. Fantas just rolling straight past, looking for the reply shots. Devil has to play carefully. Fantas has taken down Ram. Now 1v1 between these two. Thoris does receive a shell, gets one back though. 54 HP now. Surely this is the end for Fantas, and it is. Thoris will claim that. And 3 frags for Devil, 2 for Thoris. That was a good showing from Odem Mortis individually there.
Yeah, say the least. That was a fantastic showing from Odem Mortis. You look at the kind of damage they done. Okay, Yukai didn't do too much in his T69 because he got caught out in the middle.
Yep.
I think with Yukai, he's much better of a sniper than he is kind of knowing exactly where all the tanks are on the map. I think if you just give him some shots to make, he will make them.
Yep.
He did 367, but look at this, Thoris. 2,149 damage in that AMX 1390. Absolutely amazing. But the whole of Odem Mortis just kind of on the same level in terms of damage. But with SPALE, you know, you got some doing 500, some doing 600. The only one who actually did any proper damage was Fantas with 1,700. So I think altogether, the way Odem Mortis played as a team was just better than SPALE.
I completely agree.
Although, you know, SPALE took the initiative going forwards towards that cap. As I said, it's really hard to cap on steps just because it is in the middle of the field. And at the end of the day, Fantas, if he didn't want to get focused down by the likes of Yukai and at T69, he had to move. And I think, you know, Fantas kind of took the scenic route a little bit. He went right to the right towards the trench, tried to hook around onto Magus. He got it up to about 85-90% cap. Finally took him out, but he used one shell, so he was down to 5. That was the situation. And then he went forward, hit one shell onto Thoris, then he was down to 4. Hit another one to T1, then he was down to 3. And from that point onwards, unless he reloads to 6, he had no chance because Thoris was still on 80% HP.
Yeah.
Obviously, the other AMX 1390 of Devil was on 43 HP, so he was a one-shot in every respect, but you know, he just didn't have the shells to do all the damage that he needed to. So in that 1 versus 2 situation, he just didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, too true. So good stuff coming out from Odem Mortis, getting 1 map to the good already. The second map will be Ensk. So a very different, you know, complete map there. Different style involved, different style needed. And I'm looking at SPALE to do something here. They're certainly capable. But then again, they're against Odem Mortis, who are just as strong on this as they are probably on Steps. It's very hard to call. But who do you think's got a little bit of an edge on this one?
I think Steps was Odem Mortis's map pick.
Right.
Ensk almost certainly is SPALE's map pick.
Yes.
I think they are the best team, full stop, on Ensk. Just the way they split push with the IS3s and the AMX51ers all working in unison, and it's just that kind of playstyle that suits SPALE down to the bone. I think that Odem Mortis they have to step back a little bit, not play too aggressively, let SPALE come onto them, let them make the mistakes if they make any on Ensk, and see what they can do from that point onwards. You know, hook around, perhaps pick a T69 if you want to do that. Perhaps even a 4-1-6 like Dovahkiin took that round, although it didn't pay off too well just because, well, a lot of the SPALE members, in the attempt to put the pressure onto Odem Mortis, got the caught out in the middle, so that could be a danger for that tank. But I honestly think this is going to go 1-1. But, you know, SPALE, so unpredictable.
Yeah, it is hard to predict them. And even though Ensk is probably their better map, it's like Odem Mortis overall are just very solid, very consistent in that aspect, and especially this season. But I think they are ready to tank pick, so let's get you into that screen so you can see it as it goes. But yeah, SPALE, great team, probably their best map here, best chance to really pick this one up. Then again, if Odem Mortis know what they're coming up against, I can see them already countering it just by the, you know, standard play.
Yeah, I think they've done their homework on this one, Odem Mortis. If there's any map they've done the homework against on SPALE, it would have been
here.
It would have been Ensk.
But
exactly.
that's the problem. When you're, you know, if you have a best map, or if you are the best team, for example, I speak to NIP from Counter-Strike, and the big problem they have is everyone will always anti-strat them because they're the best. And, you know, with Odem Mortis being at the top, all these teams will catch up, but then it works against them. SPALE will, you know, be well aware that Odem Mortis will know how, you know, they play on this very map because it's their strongest one.
Yeah. That's exactly it. When you're at the top, it's a long way down, but you can't go any higher. It's always a problem for these teams. So double T1 from both. IS3, MX 5100 being picked to start us off with from Odem Mortis. Double 5100 replied by SPALE. And then we got a Magus from OM paying the 5100 and the T69. So OM actually liking the T69 going into this one, even after patch 8.8. Double IS3 from SPALE. They're definitely going for the brunt of this one. Last pick from Odem Mortis will be the IS3, and the last pick from SPALE will also be that IS3. So SPALE going for the triple IS3, double AMX 5100, double T1. Odem Mortis going for the triple AMX 5100, double IS3, double T1. So only real difference is the T69 have a faster reload than the extra 5100. Well, actually, SPALE have gone for 3 IS3s. Okay, I thought they'd taken the 2. That will give them, I don't know, I think it gives them less options in many respects. I think the IS3 can be extremely hard to play, but it will also give them that ability to make that first strike damage, which is so important along these corners and the kind of straight roads in Ensk. So it's going to be a good match either way. I think Odem Mortis is going to give SPALE a run for their money, especially with this kind of strong in many respects lineup that they've taken. But I don't know.
It's a hard one to call, and obviously DJ Red Deep, or DJ Deep as I will refer to him as, is now jumping in the Odem Mortis lineup instead of Devil, taking that 5100, you know, taking that heavier tank, that more firepower behind it. And so, it goes. Last time we saw him on this very map, he did extremely well. I can't say he didn't. He did the work that was necessary, and he stepped up when it mattered. So certainly a good addition to this side, and Odem Mortis making the changes they needed. I felt they almost struggled after the patch updates to some extent.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see them getting back to, you know, how well they were playing prior to the patch updates, and they're kind of getting used to it now, I feel, and starting to get into their own, which is the important part for me. I want to see the teams at their strength. You know, I don't like seeing them struggling at all. And I felt as though Odem Mortis previously did struggle a little bit once that patch update came in, and it's nice to see them catching up with the teams who kind of, you know, got it instantly. You know, like the likes of Kaz, Nakru, Denova, they caught on really quickly to that patch update, and they're like, okay, that's what we need to do now. Easy enough. So hopefully we're going to start seeing them get back to that strength and, you know, their really strong points within this. So with that in mind, let's get ready for the second map, which will be Ensk.
Ensk is a simple map on the face of it, but requires the most skillful team play to play properly. Being such a small map at 600 by 600 meters, the areas of attack are confined to through the city, through the railroads, or through the green zone. The fearsome city side, often famed for its fierce firefights, the railroads and green zone areas are hard to play as they have many death alleys. The railroads provide little cover but good sniping locations. Tanks can shoot over and navigate through the trains to ambush and weaken the opposition. When playing Ensk, always keep in mind that teams may try and rush for the cap and not go for the city brawl. Also, take tanks that can both deal a lot of damage and react quickly to situations.
So let's get into the battle here on the second map. It will be Ensk, one of SPALE's arguably best maps. Oh, I'm seeing a stop coming out. That might We might need a restart on this one, so let's not get too into this. I think DJ dropped, actually. Yes, there will be a restart, so let's keep it calm for now. We won't, be getting underway just yet, so they'll have to restart. I think it's time to go back to the garage and go back to our screens. So, till they're ready, we can just chill out and have a little bit of a discussion towards what we might be seeing here, because this is going to be an interesting game all in all. I'm not sure where my prediction lays on this one. I think you said, obviously, this is SPALE's best map.
Yeah.
Right? If they're going to make a stand, it's got to be here. Now, with the tank picks you saw coming out before, what do you think that indicates towards how they're going to play this? Because they went for a lot of that IS-3 combination there. They went for a big IS-3 heavy lineup.
Yeah.
What does that indicate to you as to how they're going to play this one out?
Well, even from the start, we saw for a few seconds the IS-3 going towards the 5 line, which does indicate that they're looking towards the city a little bit more,
Right.
looking for the brawl. But the interesting thing is that SPALE is actually starting from the south. I think they're a lot better team from the north because they're one of the few teams that actually plays aggressively from there instead of just sitting back in their base or going towards the green zone. So I think, all in all, it's going to come down to a city brawl, but I didn't see exactly what Odem Mortis were looking towards. They might have actually seen how well the previous engagement towards the greens they went with more and Team
True.
WD and start thinking to that. But
Maybe.
that could be risky because they could have a tactic down, and if they start thinking about what other teams are doing,
you can't do it on the
do
fly
that.
like this. That's the
Exactly.
problem. I like seeing adaptation. I like seeing teams trying new things, but it's not, a time. There's a time and a place for it. It's in the practice games. It's when you can, try and test things out. It's not when you're coming up against a team who are threatening, especially in these situations, on their best map especially. You've got to just play your own game at that point. The micro adaptations that you could kind of bring out in, respect to, different tank lineups. If you see them running with a lot of IS-3s, you can kind of predict what they want to do, maybe make some minor tweaks, but going for something completely different, hopefully, I don't think it's the best option for them to do it now, but it's certainly something to look at. If they saw, that tactic working, or they liked the idea of how it started and maybe didn't think the execution was great, certainly something to look at in practice is going, okay, how can we adapt this to our own play style? I'd love to see that coming in. I think they're just going to swap out a player here just because I think DJ Red Deep is having a couple of connection issues, so he's probably going to sit this one out and they're going to get someone else in. Probably the smart plan there from Odem Mortis. Eurofish says he doesn't trust him either, to be fair. So, but yeah, I think I'd like to see a lot more adaptation coming through, but I think it's always surprising because when we do get to the game days, it's always okay. What have they worked on in that week prior?
Yeah.
What's happened in those couple of days in between? Because sometimes we'll see a team one week and then following the next week they'll be completely different on the same map, and it's just because they may have seen another tactic from another side and they've gone, we kind of like that. I think that might work, but let's change it a little bit here. And it's always cool to see those little minor adaptations, especially when they're coming up against the team who run it originally, and it's always quite interesting. It's like, when I see SPALE coming against Evil Panda Squad on Himmelsdorf, for example, it's like, who's going to do the crazy mid-rush now, all right? Who dares to do it? Because they both know that they're capable of it, so maybe they'll adapt quickly to that one and go, actually, let's sit back and just make sure we can, control that mid-push if they're going to try it. And a lot of teams do that. But anyway, guys, we aren't going to give you the flashy intro. We're just going to drop you in game once it does get in there, so do not worry. You've had enough of Joe today, is all I'm saying. You might get some more towards the other maps, but for now, you've had your fill of Joe. But if you're going to call this one quickly, are you still sticking with SPALE here, or are you going Odem Mortis?
I've got to stick with SPALE.
Stick with SPALE.
I've got to stick with SPALE.
Sean Connery, sticking with SPALE.
Going for a Sean Connery look. We should cast in just Sean Connery voices. Probably very bad at it though.
I can't do accents.
Yeah.
Anyone who watches me in CS:GO will understand that. I avoid knife rounds because everyone else does it in like these crazy accents, and I literally can do none of them. So I just shut up and let people watch them.
Yeah, not very good at many things. But yeah, with 5 seconds to go into this game. SPALE versus Odem Mortis.
It's Odem Mortis.
Odem Mortis. I'm going to speak in a Latin accent.
Okay.
I did Latin at school. That's the kind of school I went to. Aga, as I said, is pushing towards the right side, the 5-6 line in the I3. He's going to be joined by Eurofish. The rest of SPALE, unsurprisingly, going towards the city, but BND is in the behind with the 5100 there to provide the support. Odem Mortis going for something a little bit, I don't know, it's kind of a hard one to call because Odem Mortis definitely played towards the left with most of their tanks where the two MX-5100s are, but now they're playing towards the right a lot more, sending the T-69 up towards the green zone, which is definitely a good thing because that's what the T-69 does best, just play in every position at a decent level. It's kind of the good at everything, but not good at one specific think tank.
Yeah, it doesn't excel anywhere, is what I always see it as. I've got to ask you the question, do you think they've gone for this kind of green area hold, or like the more passive play, because they know that SPALE are looking for that city brawl?
I think that's definitely it. I think SPALE are always going to win the City Brawl. I think they've got a better kind of team dynamic with heavy tanks. And that's why Odem is just not playing into that card. And I think from the north as well, you don't get such good positions. So, you know, you get the hard down positions from the south along the 2-3 line, and that's going to play into the IS-3 strength to an absolute peach. But first shell has been shot off by Uncro in that T69, taking Eurofish down to 1163. Eurofish will also be reloading on that, so it'll be 48 seconds before he can shoot again. But I think Odem is quite happy to sit back here and just wait for SPALE to push up. I'm almost sure that's what they're waiting to do, just because from the south you have the better position in many, many respects. Firing line's better, cover is better, but Odem is looking for that win.
Yeah, and I think they were looking to negate that original City Brawl and now maybe offset the timing before they actually started the push. Devil, Yukai, and Thoris now making the way through. I believe the Magus actually kind of set the way. He kept eyes on, made sure that no one pushed too far forward. And Thoris has got a great position now into the city area. And do you think that they might start trying to push in, or do you think they're just going to try and get this forward position and hold it down here?
Well, if they do push in, they're almost certainly going to lose, because the firepower SPALE is actually mobilizing into that city is quite extraordinary. They got every single firepower tank that can possibly do it. But Eurofish taking another one down to 7-3-1 and that 51, so he's pretty much at half HP. But that's not going to stop SPALE.
No, indeed. Muppety now picking up the mantle, trying to challenge Threaten after Thoris took that initial shot down towards the opposition. And they are going to be butting heads right now. Muppety receives another shell, 114 left towards him. Eurofish fairly low considering, left on 7-3-1. Thoris going back and forth, they're just dancing around each other. They don't have that many spots out, although they know they can assume where the vast majority are. You can see these guys now waiting to make that push. These players now actually making their way around the city area. They could split up the Odem Mortis boys if they do execute this one correctly. Yukai is trying to hold the cross, but here comes Dovahkiin. They're in a fantastic position to get this damage done. Yukai goes low. 693 already. Agarhard chasing him down. Gets some shells back towards him. These guys need to turn around. Thoris and Threat need to make this happen. But you can see the B&D did take down Yukai. Threat got one back onto Eurofish, but the damage is being dealt, and SPALE have some great control currently, but look at Odem Mortis already trying to get around the back. Muppety trying to slow them down. B&D now allowed to focus him down as well. Dovahkiin pushing straight forward, looking towards Thoris there. Threat now challenging Muppety straight away. In theory, Threat should have Muppety. He's done just that. Muppety did find Mags just in that T1, but the exchange continues. Thoris now going towards B&D on much lower HP. Thoris should be able to get this one in the bag if he can get him down correctly. Oh, big shell coming from the back though. Lovely stuff coming out from Thoris there. Absolutely annihilating the opposition. And right now, I've got to say it, it's all Odem Mortis, as Dovahkiin really the last man standing with any sort of firepower, going straight towards Thoris. Gets the first shell, gets the ram, but now here comes the rest of the fire from the Odem Mortis boys. And SPALE are just falling by the wayside, and now it's all on Dovahkiin. 1v4. It's the fire coming in left, right, and center. There's no way out of this, surely. He's taken down Thoris, but with 3 more to find, with 23 HP, it's near on impossible with all the skill and the talent in the world. I just don't see him doing this one. Uncro on the prowl, threatened not too far away. He's backed into a corner, and it looks like they want to finish this one off pretty damn quickly. Uncro getting round there. It's only a matter of time before that T69 fire comes through, and there we have it. Uncro will deal the final blow, and Odem Mortis bucking the trend on Ensk, taking out SPALE after an interesting push that they pulled off. And well, I've got to say, it's a surprise for me there.
It's a little bit of a surprise, just because, well, I thought the SPALE had the better positions at the beginning.
Yes.
And they had more firepower in the city because Uncro in that T69 wasn't there. He was playing the green zone, he's playing the 5-6 line. But the thing is, it was the predictable thing. SPALE unusually did the predictable thing, which was send 3 tanks around to try and get onto the back of those 2 IS-3s, trying to get the snipes down onto, you know, Eurofish, but they did actually take him down to 7-3-1. But then Devil came around the corner. He didn't do it so well because he took a lot of damage. But then there was another 5100 there. So they just got kind of cornered into some death alley. And as Joe said, there's so many death alleys on Ensk that if you get cornered there, you're pretty much done. And that allowed Thoris just to play that IS-3 superbly. Ended up doing, I think, 3.3k damage.
Wow.
So he was just allowed to play. He was allowed to play his game. He was allowed to go through, and he just churned away and churned through SPALE, and they just didn't have an answer to that alpha. They just didn't have anything to deal with.
Very true. And I've got to say, even though Devil didn't execute as well as he probably should have, he was stepping in for DJ Red Deep then, who normally plays that more position.
Exactly.
So he did well in in the fact that he had to get into that very short notice. But anyway, that's 2 maps now to the good in favor to Odem Mortis, the team who are currently still sitting at the very tip-top of this league so far. And in the 3rd map, it will be Prokhorovka. Now, a little bit like Steps in, the general design of this. In theory, then, should this go to Odem Mortis?
Almost certainly. Not just because it's Prokhorovka, but just the way Odem Mortis has been playing is a step ahead of SPALE. And I think they got momentum. That's what the thing is Odem Mortis have. They have the first stepping stones, and now they're starting to sprint. And I think they're just running away from SPALE at this point. SPALE have nothing to answer them. Everything Odem Mortis does, they have a kind of a backup plan to what anything SPALE does, and they just counter tactics. It's all perfect. It's all down to a T. It's all trained well. I think Odem Mortis told me they've been playing at least 2 hours a day, training in there. So that's really starting to pay off. And I think Steps and now Prokhorovka, SPALE, I don't think
they're in trouble. They are really in trouble. 3 maps will give you the win. We still have to play out all 5, but still, this could be the nail in the coffin for SPALE, who last time they met up, they did manage to pick up at least 1 map against Odem Mortis in Season 2, but still, it's very hard to predict because we didn't see them at the offline finals. We haven't seen them that much in this season yet because we just kind of haven't seen SPALE that much. So right now, it's just showing how much Odem Mortis have improved from just Season 2. So let's get ready for the tank pickings. They are getting themselves into this one. But it's certainly a very, very different picture coming out from both of these guys now.
But I think we're going to see predictable tanks from both teams. Just because I think OM doesn't really want to throw this one. They don't want to really put something strange in there, and perhaps that won't work. And then they start thinking, was our tactic the right thing, or was our tank pick the right thing? So that's always very important to keep in mind. SPALE, I think they'll also be doing that because this is their last chance. They're in last chance saloon to come back. Now 2-0 down, losing both Steps and also Ensk. So if they want to do anything, they've got to do it now. 2 AMX 3090s from SPALE, and that goes for Odem Mortis as well, and that will be the 2 T69s from SPALE. But what is this? I was just saying they're going to predict something predictable, but Odem Mortis 2 IS3s on Prokhorovka. I've never seen this. I've never seen this before. Okay, when Prokhorovka was first used, the only tanks you could really use, because it was the only tanks available at that time in 2012, 2011 were the T32s. So we picked like 2 or 3 of them, and nothing else we could pick. But now with the 3090s, the T69s,
a lot of other options.
You've got a lot of more options. So Odem Mortis picking 2 IS3s, SPALE picking another AMX 3090, and Odem Mortis, just to try care to the win, they picked another IS3. So they're going for the triple IS3, double AMX 3090, double T1 lineup. What the hell? Okay,
theorize where they're a viable option. In my mind, maybe the village
just
to
the
an
village.
extent.
Just the village.
Could you possibly, I don't even know, would there be any sort of side scraping you could do with the train tracks? I don't even think you can because of the defilade and the way you can't exactly use them. I really don't know how they're going to be playing.
I think, honestly, it's not that illogical, just because if they do play the village well, then they have plenty of firepower and plenty of HP to deal with it. And I think the only weakness the IS-3 has in the village is the fact that it can't turn its turret as quickly as the T69 and the MX 3090. So that could be very hard for Odem Mortis to counter. But if they play this right, they might have actually countered-picked and outthought SPALE and maybe even brought the next element of Prokhorovka to us.
I am absolutely baffled. But guys, let's give you an introduction to what you normally see on Prokhorovka.
Prokhorovka, a large map at 1,000 by 1,000 meters which allows teams to stretch their legs and artillery to test their skills. There are 3 primary routes of attack: over the left tree road, the middle area and towards the town. The tree road is very open and flat but has a very large number of bushes and trees that provide good cover if you're not shooting. The middle area is where the initial engagements happen as teams gather as much information as they possibly can. Both teams are fairly symmetrical and only offer small hills and brushes as cover. The middle area is where the initial engagements happen as teams gather as much information as they possibly can. The railroad that splits the map has a large number of bushes running alongside it that provides good cover and the occasional route of attack in the village and hill area. Teams should look towards taking fast tanks and artillery as they complement each other on this expansive map.
Alrighty, ladies and gents, welcome to the 3rd map. It will be Prokhorovka, as Joe delightfully said. And we are seeing a very odd start. I'm sorry, normally I go to you, but I want you to tell me what the hell they are doing with these IS-3s going here.
Odem Mortis, what are you doing? This is just ridiculous, okay? They're not going towards the village at all.
The one viable option.
They're doing what they always do, but instead of the MX-1390s and the T-69s, they're using IS-3s instead, hugging the red line to give them as much distance between the initial spot in the middle from SPALE and them. So Agaher is going to try and get the shots off, but they haven't spotted the IS-3. They only spotted one. And Dr. DJ Deep is going to engage straight onto Eurofish.
Yeah, indeed, he is going straight in, not messing around at all. There's that firepower coming in as well. Kurtz will get some connection, but it's Red Deep to take out Eurofish, and maybe this backline of just incredible amounts of damage can actually connect. Thierry finding Magus, though. It's a bit of a back and forth. B&D going low. Devil looking to make it his kill there. He does manage to take down B&D, and even though we've seen some really weird choices, they might make this work. I'm baffled. But right now, it's not a bad shout. They managed to take down two big players, whereas only Odem Mortis managing to lose a T1. Magus is just as useful, being able to command while watching his teammates as he is in play. So bearing in mind that, and then the SPALE have those two 3090s down, this is a dangerous lineup. And I think we're even seeing smiley faces from these guys who are like, what the hell is going on? And Kurt's now pushing up Threat as well. This is baffling stuff.
Yeah, YOLO SPALE is their new team. That was just sending two MX-1390s to their impending doom and getting them completely blown away. They had no chance at all, and now it'll make a hard job even harder for SPALE. Those IS-3s will be able to do so much damage and take even more. Now there's two MX-1390s down. The only T-69s left, and T-69's ammo against the side of those IS-3s will have no chance since the heat changes have been implemented by Wargame. Dr. DJ Deep does take one from the side of from Agaher, who's sitting down in J7. But this is going to be a pretty easy job for Odem Mortis to clean up. They're just going to push the IS-3s up the line, come onto the side of SPALE, and just clean all up.
Well, here we go. You said it, and it's happening right now. Threaten, and I believe Thoris now just completely folding onto Thierry. Devil will steal that kill, making his score currently 2-0. So he's looking pretty good in this one. Thoris now and Threaten pushing forward. Going to be finding Dovahkiin just over this defilade, and the shells are missing, but there's the round, there's the connection, and there's the rest of Odem Mortis going just to really just rub salt into the room. Dovahkiin going low. He is going to be out of there. Just finished off by DJ Red Deep, and now only Agaher and Fantis stand for the SPALE side. And this was certainly not the map that I thought I'd be seeing, but anyway, they've made it work. So, wow.
Yeah, that was, I think Dovahkiin might have just esked and just Alt F4'd out of the game, but whatever. Agaher's also going to kill himself. Fantis has gone into the water. They've gone for a swim. Summer's over, but SPALE still like to swim. Obviously, they don't get a lot of sun in Finland, where SPALE is from. So, I don't even know what to say.
I don't think SPALE know what to say about that. To have three IS-3s dominating you on Prokhorovka from the completely wrong area. Yeah. It's like you might have expected, the village, which is probably what they did. Then they kind of went, all right, let's just go flying down and see what would happen. And then they got met by the three IS-3s and every single other member of Odem Mortis. So, yeah.
And I think that's the thing about the IS-3. You have 390 average. Let's make that 400 just for the argument's sake. That's 3 shells you do. That's 1,200 damage. The MX-1390 has 1,100. So 3 shells and you're out of there. And it's 11 seconds reload between each shot.
What
so 33 seconds. And, Thoris did 1.4K. Kurtz did 400, Thoris did 969. So it doesn't sound like big numbers, but when you consider how low HP the MX-1390s have, they are big numbers.
Yeah, it's massive, but that was a little bit insane, to say the least. It's not a normal Prokhorovka, guys. I want to put that out there right strange. Now. It's not normally like
Drugs
that.
Drugs are bad, kids. Yeah. Seriously.
Kids these days, back in my day, but no, a little bit of a baffling one there. But anyway, that does mean Odem Mortis do have this in the bag, but obviously SPALE now have the chance to at least, try anything out, maybe get, make sure their score isn't looking too dire when they do go into the later stages of this tournament, and maybe, points come into effect, the overall score results, and they want to at least, for pride, maybe get one map in the bag. Ruinberg will be the next one. It's a little bit of a hybrid between, a city map and something else as well. It's kind of got that village area, similar to maybe Prokhorovka in aspect, but not necessarily as flimsy, but it does have that big city that's been becoming more viable within the season. We've seen that really coming into play. We've seen a lot of teams quite favouring it. Certainly not what we saw in Season 2. It was almost completely avoided. It was all about that village battle. So it'd be interesting to see how these guys go about it. But Odem Mortis, they're trying new things, and it's actually working, which is kind of baffling.
Yeah, and I think, the thing about Ruinberg is it's kind of a less awkward Siegfried line. It's got the green side, but it's got the village punctuating the green side in the middle, which allows just the whole thing to come together in many respects. Each part of the map is connected, which makes it really nice for the teams to kind of flow throughout the map. So it's really a well-designed map, actually, and that makes for great games as well. But as you said, we don't know what's coming out from SPALE. They've really
never do.
The thing is, they've taken their unpredictability up to the next level here. Like, usually they're unpredictable, but you can kind of feel that they have that potential somewhere down there.
Yeah.
But here they're just kind of throwing it completely and not really caring if they were going to win or lose. And Odem is having no trouble building on that and just easily taking the wins. That's just, I don't get it.
Yeah, indeed. So let's chuck you into the tank picks, and who knows what we're going to see here.
Yeah, double T1 from both teams, T69 5100 from Odem, double TC9 from SPALE, T69 and the 5100 from Odem. So going for the double T69, which we haven't seen a lot of in Season 3, but we're only now 5 match days in. So it's going to continue being picked, I believe. On Ruinberg is probably its strongest place, just because of the kind of city area it's still pretty good in, and the village it can still maneuver, it's still quick enough to get there at the beginning. But you just need to wait for the MX-39 to be picked for the initial spot along that F line. Obviously, the F road is this road here because it looks like an F, in case anyone's wondering. Anyone who calls it anything else apart from an F road, you're wrong. It's an F road.
You're wrong, are you?
It's an F road.
Just put it out there
I can't even get up to the F in the alphabet, so it's an accomplishment for me. But yeah, we're just waiting for SPALE to pick their second to last tanks. I'm expecting at least an MX-1390 in there. Okay, it'll be double MX-1390 from SPALE. Last pick for Odem Mortis, the MX-1390 as well for the initial spot. And SPALE's last pick will be the 5100, so going for that higher firepower Tier 8 French heavy tank. Obviously capable of doing almost 2,000 damage if it connects all 6 shells, 300 average.
I don't know. I don't even know what to say about this map anymore. I don't know. I don't know World of Tanks anymore. Like I thought I had an understanding. I thought I knew what I was seeing, and then I saw 3 IS3s on Prokhorovka. It's kind of like baffled me. But which team has the advantage here?
Well, Odem Mortis obviously have the advantage because they're just going to be pushing for a quick win. Now, well, 3 maps up, 3-0. Quite convincingly, all 3 maps. The closest one being Steps. So yeah, I think Odem Mortis are just going to do it. They're just going to finish this one off, make it quick, make it simple.
Well, let's have a little look at that introduction towards Ruinberg.
Ruinberg is one of our newest city maps, and it's fairly large, being 800 by 800 meters. There are 3 main routes of attack: the roads leading to the city, the road going through the middle, and the village area. Each of these have 2 important areas to control. The city has very large roads and plenty of opportunities for teams to flank. The long roads also provide for good sniping areas as well as corner shooting. Teams often push through the village area, and once controlled, the team can move on to the enemy's base. You should pick heavy tanks with high alpha damage for corner sniping, as well as a faster tank for the middle spot.
Right.
I believe they have the wrong side, so we aren't going live. Relax.
Absolute fails.
I know. They're struggling, guys. They're having a moment. We're going back to the garage.
Unbelievable.
Deep breaths.
Like
deep breaths.
North, south, east, and west.
I know.
I mean, Columbus got it right. These guys can get it right. Jesus. Actually, he got lost, so I guess he didn't get it right.
Wow. Solid point there.
Right, yeah.
Oh,
we're back
God.
to garage again.
Never eat shredded wheat. Was that the... I guess that was just
What?
me.
Don't know what she's talking about. You have to watch
Northeast, Southwest.
too much Disney
Never
Channel.
eat shredded wheat.
Ah, right. No,
See?
I actually just learned it normally. I didn't have to have that. I still say, when you say the alphabet, does everyone out there just still sing
You
it? Because I still sing it.
I can't tell you what is next
Yeah,
to K.
even Melly's
like,
nodding.
I can't tell you. Like, I have a, I'm fairly intelligent, I guess. Some might say don't say a word. But if someone goes, so what letter is next to S?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Exactly. It's just like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, we struggle. All right. So these guys having to sort the sides out, and then they will be going back into this. Don't worry. We are going to be having the 4th and 5th map. As soon as they sort themselves out, all right, they maybe got a bit baffled.
Yeah, they got baffled. That's
They
for
got
sure.
a little bit baffled after seeing those IS3s on Prokhorovka, and they're like, I don't even know what's going on anymore. I don't know which side I'm on. I don't know which tanks I'm on. Kind of kind of threw him off a bit. Threw me off a bit, to be fair, so don't worry. They will get back underway, and as soon as they're into it, we will throw you into the game. Do not fear. Deep breaths.
You can see if SPALE's going to throw it again. Just throw it.
Game of throws.
Throw that one in there.
Game of throws. It hurts, man. It hurts.
Yeah.
Sadly, there's no Stephen here to normally step up to the role as Hodor within Game of Throws, but
he's still Hodor somewhere.
Yeah, he's Hodoring somewhere. That's what we like to see. Anyway, we are back into the game now, so do not worry. They've corrected themselves and they've sorted themselves out. So this time around, in the gold and yellow in the south, it's Odem Mortis who have won this one, but they have to play it all the way out, facing off against SPALE in the north in blue. So what do you think we're going to see here if they get everything ready?
If this is okay, someone might have fallen off the chair and broken their leg or something.
Yeah, it does happen.
But yeah, SPALE, I think, are going to go straight up towards the village. I think that's probably the most likely thing. Okay, they're going to do exactly the opposite, going to go straight towards the city. Thank you very much, SPALE. And Odem Mortis doing very much the same, actually. Obviously, the T1 is going to be keeping an eye on in that small village to the right. But pretty much, I think we're going to see just a very quick firefight from these two teams. Although, Odem Mortis have that double 50-100. That'll give them the edge in the firefight because the amount of damage and the HP pool, it does add to the game. But we'll have to wait and see. Thoros getting to the F-Road first. That'll give the Odem Mortis team the advantage. The F-Road is so important to keep, especially when the teams are not going towards the village, which these two haven't. But we'll have to wait and see. Theory and Dovahkiin going forwards now. First couple of shots, Uncro doesn't actually come out worse, comes out better for that, actually. Did 120 to the bad roll from Odem Mortis, but first engagement.
Yeah, indeed. Yukai peers around the corner, expecting only one. Does find three. Thierry, Yorfish, and Dovahkiin there. Uncro joining in now, gets another shell connecting. Thoros peers round, gets one through. Thierry goes down fairly low now. Big shell coming through there. Dovahkiin's already down to 878, so good little crossfire setup on that F-Road, just dancing around the crossroads itself. Now you can see the bigger tanks have made their way around those 5100s of Devil and DJ Red Deep, just waiting to get into the action. One more peek through and they'll definitely take their heads off. And it's just a battle of, that little bit of patience, that little bit of waiting for that first player to peek out to get those shells connecting. They know where they are as well. That's the important part. These guys are literally meters away from each other. It's not far at all, so it's only a matter of time before they decide to make that push. Yeah,
I think it'll also be dictated by the reload on the 5100s. I think Devil and Dr. GJ Deep will be reloading. Once they have that, they know they have the HP advantage. They'll push around into the back of SPALE with the 5100s. All patches push them straight in there and then come around with the T69s and the double T69s and that AMX 3090 as well. Push the T1s up through the village or just keep them there. It doesn't really matter. Either a push, which is sometimes considered the best form of defense, or just keep them there to defend and stop any cap from obviously Mapeti and Fantis playing those two T1s. But who's ever going to take the first move will be the bolder, will be the more brave. But Odem Mortis not happy to do that so far. Quite content to sit back with the 5100s, wait for SPALE to get impatient, which is they obviously are famed for. And Eurofish is also going to take one nice little connection from Uncro. Very good T69 player, considered one of the best in the league, and I think he's just going to continue pestering this team.
Yeah, and you said it correctly. SPALE lacking that discipline that obviously Odem Mortis have. Aga has adapted through. DJ Red Deep, Magus, Devil, Thoros, all keeping eyes on that counter push through that, a more central area within this city. And we are seeing these guys kind of getting themselves ready for possibly a push. SPALE have backed off some way, and they are just going to wait for their chance to come through. All three tanks just laying in wait, going to be backing around, trying to find a different angle to possibly, at least begin the attack from.
Yeah, exactly. Just find those angles, find the weaknesses, and exploit them to your best potential. But SPALE now on the rotate, changing positions. You got Eurofish, Aga, Theory, BND, and finally Dovahkiin leading the charge. Back to the base, probably looking towards that village, or maybe just put a couple of tanks up here in A7, ready for any push along the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 line, or just the B line, depends which one you call it. From Odem Mortis, which is going to be pretty predictable from them, but I think it would also work just because of the HP advantage they have, especially if they come through the AMX 3090s from the side, the AMX 3090 from the side, and what they do with those T69 is really up to them. But now SPALE also pushing forwards as they were before. He's going to try and get past Mapeti in this T1. I'm not sure exactly if Mapeti is going to be staying there, or is he going to go for the cap. I think he's actually going to go up towards the village, towards the cap. And at the moment, SPALE changing the situation, changing the dynamic of the game, looking for a different angle. They didn't come off the better in the previous one, so they're switching up, which I think is a good plan, and Odem is following suit.
Yeah, they are trying to find out exactly where SPALE went to. Thoros just pushing around up that one line, joining Magus there in that T1. The bigger firepower, just laying back a touch, getting some blind shots off. Nothing really connecting. Nothing really going for them. UKI just sitting back as well. They're happy. They're fairly content within the city right now. Odem Mortis can easily make their way back towards the cap point. They have left that T1 there just in case it's necessary. Ram just keeping eyes through in case SPALE do decide to make their way all the way down that 0 line.
Yeah, but now SPALE and Dovahkiin, Eurofish and Dovahkiin heading towards their base again. They actually went off towards the village, but for some reason decided to turn around. Maybe Fantis actually spotted some destruction from the city, maybe like a car being destroyed or a wall, and realized that Odem Mortis are actually on the offensive, which they aren't really, but they are towards their base a lot more. But I don't think Odem Mortis is a team to go for those cheesy pushes. They aren't the ones to go into the base, into the cap point and put pressure on like that, because I know, especially on Ruinberg, it's almost impossible to do unless you have all the information you can possibly have on the enemy team. You know that they're not in their base in A7. You know they're in the village, or you know they're in the city. So Odem Mortis will have to think with their brain, have to think about the strategies SPALE could possibly do, see what they can execute, and then just exploit the weaknesses of SPALE once they've made that initial engagement. Muppety definitely heading over towards the village. BND and Aga are actually spotting out Uncro in that T69 in the middle, which will give SPALE a good amount of information, knowing that Odem Mortis is still towards the city, although the T69 does like playing solo, so it can be completely on the opposite side of the map to the rest of his team. But generally, not quite a fast enough tank to do that. Aga apparently hitting onto Uncro, which I think he actually did. Uncro congratulating him on that one. Maybe one of the best shots we couldn't see. We'll have to look at the replay. Maybe one of those highlight videos, and we'll have to add that one in. But Muppety looking towards the base of Odem Mortis at the moment. He will actually find Magus sitting in his T1 over there. But I don't know. These two teams quite happy to sit back, obviously. With our new rules going to Season 3, if it does end up being a draw now with 3 minutes and 35 seconds to go towards that, we just move on to our next map. Yeah, exactly that. It's just, if it's a draw, it's a draw. Simple and clear cut. And currently, Odem Mortis being 3 maps to the good. It's not exactly going to really cause much of a riptide, but we'll see what goes down, as we are seeing a little bit of movement from Odem Mortis towards the end here. As you said, with only about 3 minutes left on the board, they are deciding to do something. And Thoros really charging through. Devil, DJ Red Deep, and UKI all looking towards that cap point. Maybe going to go a little bit SPALE YOLO and look for a way through. Maybe just force the hand of SPALE and get themselves back here. Not sure if they're going to expect that big kind of laying in wait amount of players that have actually stuck back by the last couple of flags. And I think Devil's actually caught a glimpse of them. Devil is lining it up, going to be waiting to possibly take a shot if he fancies it. He knows where those 3 are now. And you do see the first shells coming in. It's UKI getting the first bit of damage dealt. And they are to be laying down every single bit of fire they have, possibly going to be putting on a cap, or maybe just trying to at least find out exactly where SPALE are. Yeah, that was some good blind shots by Odem Mortis. They know that there's 3 possible locations those defending tanks could be, either towards the right, or in front of Eurofish, behind him through the middle of the houses, or to the left where Theory is. So good prediction play. That was just experience coming into the equation at the end of the day. But it looks like SPALE gonna do something aggressive here, unsurprisingly, since they are SPALE. Gonna push straight onto Odem Mortis. They know those 51s are probably reloading. They know the T69s are probably reloading. Well, most of their tanks aren't reloading. 1 minute and 58 seconds left. Let's see what they can do. Here we go, indeed. Dovahkiin get himself in there. BND getting taken down low. Aga has taken down around that T1, but here comes the big guns. BND does manage to find Devil. As you said, those reloads really coming into the matter. DJ Red Deep now needs to get involved. Aga going down to 80. Thierry finding 1. Takes down Uncro. DJ Red Deep gets the reply. Back and forth. DJ Red going in again. It's Thoros to find Eurofish. Can they do any more work, though? DJ Red now down to only 101. BND landing that really damaging blow. Thoros dancing back and forth, trying to find a way through. BND has found Magus at tier 1. And you can see the cap is underway for the SPALE side. And you can see that, his Thierry split off. And now DJ Red Deep is in trouble. 101 HP.
HP. Dovahkiin hot on his heels. B&D there as well. They're just waiting for the moment to pounce, and they have actually taken him down. Now, really, only Thoris is the last one standing. With 2 kills under his belt already, he needs to get 4 if he wants to do something about this. And as talented as he may be, this is not an easy task. We're just going to be ramming out Muppety there to try and keep hold of as many shells as possible, losing minimum amounts of health. 259 now to take down 3 members of the opposition.
Yeah, he probably won't be able to do it, as the entire opposition makes more than 1,440 HP, probably about 1.5k, so an almost impossible task. But if he gets lucky with those damage rolls, goes up to 288, which is the maximum, well, 300 is the maximum the MX-3090 can do, but will he have a chance? No.
Well, 19 HP says no indeed. So it will be SPALE picking up that one. So maybe for a little bit of pride's worth, at the very least, they have got 1 map on the board. It was a little bit, I don't know, I don't think that was as serious as we've seen Odem Mortis play, let's just say. But SPALE nevertheless did take the lead. They read the situation well with the reloads. They pushed in the correct timing. Fair play.
Exactly.
You can't knock them on that. They did do the damage when it was necessary. Top damage dealer being the likes of B&D there, here on 1.7k. On the other side for Odem Mortis, I believe it was Uncro with 1.9. So fairly even spread damage roll-wise, but it was the timing of when the damage occurred, and there was no way that there could have been a reply from Odem Mortis. So scoreline is 3-1. OM still with the advantage. It's not going to change, but the final map will be Himmelsdorf.
Exactly. We'll be going on to another city map. Obviously, Ruhenberg and Ensk now out. It will be Himmelsdorf in. Going to be an interesting battle either way.
Yep.
I think just looking at the other 2 maps, now we had Ensk going towards Odem Mortis, SPALE going, Ruhenberg going to SPALE.
Yep.
Now going on to our last city map, which is the most city of all city maps. It's 100% city map. I'm
I see
unsure who's going to win.
there. Come on.
Yeah.
There's like a patch of grass.
On. Yeah, I guess that's going to count as a bit of green.
It doesn't really count though, does it?
No.
Not
I
really.
don't think you could have your vegetable garden there.
I don't know. I reckon get some runner beans on the go, you know what I mean? But they are just going to get themselves ready for this final map. Obviously, the victory already going to Odem Mortis. This is just being played out for obviously the overall points. All 5 maps have to be played.
And at the end of the day, if it does come down to it, towards the end of the season, the rounds get counted between the 2 teams if they're on equal points. The more rounds you have against the other team means you go through.
So it all matters.
It all matters, but Odem Mortis still have the win.
Exactly that. So, but next time they face again, who knows what the scoreline will be. The adaptation from week to week is insane that we're already seeing. So let's get you ready for those tank picks anyway, because they are getting themselves finally sorted. And do you think SPALE can do it again? Maybe pull out something surprising? Or is this when Odem Mortis go, no, let's just make sure we get a 4-1?
I think that's when Odem Mortis will just say, let's just do it.
4-1
Let's just finish this one out. So double T1 from both, which will mean that all the rest of their tank picks will be the tier 8s, which is not surprising at all since it is Himmelsdorf. It's going to be a mixture of 5100s, IS3s, maybe a 110, and maybe a T69. But double AMX5100 start us off with from SPALE, IS3, AMX5100 from Magus from Odem Mortis. So standard picks at the start. SPALE picking the double IS3, Odem Mortis with a quick reply with the 5100 and the T69. So going for that tier 8 medium American tank, unlike most teams. We'll see how that one works out. But so far it's done well. It's done wonders, especially on Ensk. IS3 will be the last pick from SPALE. And expecting the same from Odem Mortis unless they pick something like they have on Prokhorovka and just go wild and maybe pick, like, I don't know, 112, which I don't think they have on these accounts. I'm not sure. But IS3 will be the last pick from Odem Mortis. So going for the standard lineup, the double AMX200, the triple IS3 for the side of SPALE, double T1 for the side of Odem Mortis. We got the double MX600, double IS3, T69, and those 2 T1s.
Yeah, so that will be the final lineups here on the last map. As we said, it will be Himmelsdorf, and Odem Mortis is who you're tipping for this. They're the team that currently are looking the strongest overall. They are sitting first position in the overall league, which is certainly a good place to be, beating out the likes of Dignitas and WoT Pro. And it's just a time for them to build a little bit more. I'm looking to see how they play down that banana area, see who's really going to be making the damage count. But anyway, let's get ready with the introduction video towards Himmelsdorf.
Himmelsdorf is a city maps of city maps. It's a small one, being 600 by 600 meters. There are 3 routes of attack: the hill, the banana, and the train side. The middle area is relatively easy to push, however can end up in disaster as you can be flanked from every side. The road, often called Banana, allows for direct head-on assaults but requires a lot of resources. Both the railroad area and the road next to it are good routes of attack, being very open and straight. However, for those very same reasons, you can be easily caught out and taken down. The map features many densely housed areas, which provides good places for engagements and routes of attack. Teams must be aware of the various routes their opponents can take through the map, as well as the hull-down positions enemies can take throughout the entire map. The trick with Himmelsdorf is to catch an enemy tank unsupported by his teammates and then use that advantage to collapse on the entire enemy team.
Well, thank you very much, Joe Miller, and welcome to the final map. It will be Himmelsdorf, and in the north, in that golden yellow, it's Odem Mortis. Currently 3-1 to the good, facing off against the south, which is SPALE in the blue colors. So what are we seeing so far here?
So SPALE with a very strong presence towards that Banana. Marpetit, Dovahkiin, Eurofish, Aga, and BND all there. Aga gets punished straight away from a good shot from Thuris, down to 1,064 HP. But I think this is going to be another Yuli from SPALE. Looks like they're going to push straight out that Banana. Marpetit in front, Dovahkiin in the IS-3 as well, and Eurofish behind in that MX-5100. But they haven't sent the rest of their tanks up. The BND and the Aga are there. So it's kind of a split push, but they haven't got their firepower there, so I'm not sure how this is going to work out.
Well, right now they have got the initial connection onto Threaten there, so he's already down to 1085. Thoros just waiting around the corner, now going to be getting those shells connecting as quickly as possible. He's received a big shell to himself. The rest of the SPALE side are making their way through that central reservation of the map. He's been taken low, 498. Where's the crossfire? They need to make it count right here, right now. Yukai going low. This could be SPALE's map. Oh, it's not going well, though. There we go. DJ Red Deep does take down Dovahkiin. Eurofish replying back onto Yukai. Thoros and Threaten finally getting the damage dealt, but there's the reply once again. It's a back-and-forth situation. It's going all the way here. Threaten now on the hunt towards Marpetit. Going to be coming around the corner, challenging immediately in that IS-3. He's won that little battle, but now the rest of the SPALE side have appeared over the horizon. Those 5100s doing the damage, taking him down to 106. He's got no hope of getting out of this one alive. Surely not. He has got one connection, but Ram will take him down, I believe that was. Now 2v1 pretty much down the central line. You see the other player of OM now making way around the back. It is Uncro in the T69 looking to do some damage. Agahad turning that turret right around to face him off. He does get a one shell, two shells towards BND. This is close. He has taken him down. Lovely work from Uncro, pulling Agahad back. Maybe DJ Red Deep will be round there in time. I think he's still reloading. Oh, the bait was perfect. The shell bounced. The cap is underway, and this could be it for SPALE. It's all been turned around, and he's been pincered in. Agahad's no way out of this. DJ Red Deep joins in on the fun, and it's not looking pretty at all. One shell will go onto Uncro, but there's certainly going to be no more of that as DJ Red Deep gets himself in there. 300 damage being dealt. 411 left on Agaha, and these guys are brawling this out blow for blow. DJ Red Deep surely will take him down any moment now as Agaha goes down to 105. Uncro deals the final blow towards him, leaving only Fantis alive on 1 HP. He's actually saved the day there for the cap at least, but now it's a T69 and MX-5100 pretty much going after Fantis in a T1. So it's not looking too good for him. As much as I'd love to say he's got a hope here, you know, maybe he can dig deep and somehow pull it off, I don't think it's going to happen, especially with Uncro making his way in there. GG's are being said. DJ Red Deep will land that final killing blow for Odem Mortis, and what a way to end that one out. That was a pretty impressive bit of play.
That was decent. That was not bad at all from Odem Mortis.
Come on, DJ Red Deep, 2.3k damage.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, especially when you consider how much pressure he was under in the
Exactly.
IS-3. He was put under a lot of pressure and he performed, and I think that's really good because he's one of the new players.
Yep.
So if he gets those results, gets those consistent plays, then he's going to be...
Means a lot.
It means a lot to the team, and it means that he's going to be played more, he's going to be integrated into the team more, and they're going to feel more comfortable around him, and he's going to be there to provide the backup if so required. But generally, a very strange push from SPALE because they did take a lot of damage,
Yep.
which didn't allow them in that 2 versus 2 situation because they were on reload. Uncro came round, he got the track shot onto Agaha in the 5100, which was perfect. Managed to take him down, not enough cover from his mate, and it was 2 versus 1. DJ Red Deep got the shots on to the IS-3, finished him off, and then Fantis, although completely outplaying Magus in that T1, which is quite surprising because Magus is usually...
He's known for it. He's
like,
the T1.
He's
you
the
know
T1
what I mean?
Don.
Yeah.
He's like, he made that tank. I swear he's got one at home. Just practice on it. But yeah, he was left on 1 HP, but Uncro just came in and finished him.
Perfect stuff. So what a way to finish this match day out. It will be Odem Mortis showing you exactly why they are at the top of this league. They certainly deserve their position. Incredible play throughout every single map, not only innovating their game style and the gameplay. Maybe the IS3s are a little bit of an interesting one, but hell, they made it work on Prokhorovka. They picked it up 4-1 overall against SPALE, who always just managed to kind of challenge the big dogs, but today they certainly didn't do it. But the game prior to that, it was also incredible, so make sure you watch these VODs back. But before we wrap the show up, let's get a little bit of a kind of reminder of what you guys voted for and who you thought was going to walk away with that one, because we know SPALE is the community favorite, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them up there. So let's introduce you back to the one, the only, the ever lovely Melly. How are we doing, my dear?
Let me start this off with a quote from one of our
Lord.
tweets.
I'm scared.
IS3s for the win. No gun depression, no autoloader, no problem.
It's to the point, at least.
We should have that on some sort of quote on one of our graphics.
I want a little
just
mug
at the
with
top.
that. I want a
Yeah,
mug with that with an IS3 on it, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's great. That's
You're the only mug
definitely
in this.
one
Shut
of
your face.
our... Oh, come on.
The abuse I get.
Just throwing it in there, man.
That's- I-
Ending the show, got to throw it in.
I think next show I'm going to sit between you and take care that you're not
It's
picking
like the
the only
Haribo
way.
advert.
Just slap, slap, slap. Careful of my slaps. Know that, right?
Yeah, we
Nancy?
know, we know.
Yeah, we know. The horse took it already.
Oh boy. Okay, well, it is pretty funny actually, because I forgot to speak. the vote, the poll. Oh, come on, shut your faces.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. We're losing over here. Carry on.
We're nearly done.
Deep
2 more
breaths.
minutes, people. 2 more minutes. We can do this. Okay,
Right.
50% each.
Wow. People actually thought SPALE were going to do that. You guys have faith. Like, I know they're a good team. Don't get me wrong. They are a good team. They've got a big kind of crowd behind them, but Odem Mortis are first in the league, guys. Come on. Like, I know that
And they've
Virtus
won
Pro
against them
struggled.
every single time,
Every
since
time.
season 1. Come on, guys.
Come on. Come on.
Come on. Oh, people, you completely confused me. It's not that hard, but to be honest, but
Any questions?
no questions. No. What I wanted to say is that the comments below the challenge look kind of the same. So they're completely mixed, and yeah, very few people guessed right. But
Wow.
well, I will find some that they deserve the bonus code. Thank you for participating, and before, let me check Twitter before people get angry. No questions.
There we
That's
go.
all.
So, that is all. But yeah, very quiet. No questions today. I'm almost upset because the last one was so lovely. Anyway, hopefully you guys have enjoyed today's show. I know we've had a great time over here. You may have seen us breaking down into laughter, but I assure you we have had a brilliant time. Odem Mortis showing you exactly why they are at the top of the league, showing their strength, showing why they've improved since the last season, and that by all rights, they should, if they keep playing like this, make it to those offline finals, which is clearly the biggest important thing here to them.
Yeah.
It's got to be, considering they missed out on the last time around.
Exactly. They're going to be looking for that. And 4 wins in the bag now.
Yep.
Considering Evil Panda Squad qualified for Games 1 with only 11 wins. They're like pretty much getting on to halfway there. Just need to continue on. Obviously, 22 match days. Quite a long season ahead.
Yep.
Get those results in the bag. Look towards the middle of the season now. We're in match day 5. And just get that consistency.
So hopefully we can find out on the next play day or match day, which will be on the 26th of the 9th, so not far away at all, if they can keep this up. We might even be able to have a little glimpse towards if they do have a big game coming up. Do let us know your thoughts towards that as well via the usual routes on Twitter and Facebook if there's a certain matchup you might want to see. But anyway, that is it from us today. We've had a brilliant ride here. 2 incredible teams 2 times over. Anyway, hopefully you tune into the next match day. As we said, it will be on the 26th and there will be match day 6. Make sure you check out the WoTProLeague.com website with all the previous VODs, all the results, and all of the league rankings so far because it's an incredible site. So guys, that's it from us. Hopefully see you next time.